Hey everyone, we've got a couple of new Player of the Week packs on eFootball. I'm going to review the Champions League pack in this video, and I'll review the regular Player of the Week pack later on today. We've also got a couple of other packs. Not a great deal that's been added today, but what is very interesting is these national team packs. So, firstly, most importantly, we've got a Showtime national team selection. 5 Showtime players. We're going to get a selection contract to choose one, which is fantastic. I'll review these cards separately. I'll try and do that today, but more likely that'll be either tomorrow or over the weekend. But I will get this pack reviewed. Help you choose who to use your selection contract on. And there's also this one. We're going to get a bunch of selection contracts for this one. Not Showtime cards, just kind of regular highlight cards, but pretty interesting selection though. So that's pretty cool. We're going to get a bunch of interesting free cards. But like I say, for this video, I'm going to be reviewing the Champions League Player of the Week pack. And then later on today, I'll do the regular Player of the Week pack. So for this one, as always, there will be timestamps in the description for every player. So if you want to hear about a particular player, click on the description. There'll be links to take you straight to them. And they are all five-star cards. We'll start with one of the lowest rate ones. So we'll start with Acerbi from Inter. So we've got a build-up centre-back. That's what it usually is. Got a face scan, of course. We've had a previous Player of the Week version of Acerbi. I had that one. This one's a lot more aggressive. It's got a lot more aggression. Apart from that, bunch of attributes shuffled around slightly, but no other major difference really. Pretty similar. There have been a couple of decent trainable versions of Acerbi. There was one in ages ago now, and some kind of, I think it was when they started all their esports stuff on eFootball. They had a load of partner club players in packs. That was from one of those packs. This is slightly better than that one, but there's one from some kind of Inter Milan pack from quite a while ago that was a bit better than this one. So if you got that one from an Inter pack, that's a slightly better card. Compared to his GP card, like I say, he's normally a build-up. They've not changed position or anything like that. They boosted his aggression. That'd be why he's got more aggression than that other Player of the Week card. Boosted his pace, as they always do with centre backs, jumping, stamina. That's about it, really. No real major difference anywhere else. But pretty solid looking card. It's just the fact he's a bit slow. His jumping's not amazing. He's quite tall, 6'3", 6'4". He does have aerial superiority, so the jumping being about low is not a disaster. He will be decent in the air, just won't be amazing. He's not going to be dominant in the air. But he's got the physical strength. He's got the defensives. Passing is decent for a centre back. It's just a bit slow, and obviously the balance isn't brilliant. It's not brilliant on the ball. So yeah, that pace and maneuverability is the one real issue with this Acerbi. If you have a low defensive line, you don't really feel the need for a great deal of pace in your centre backs. Then elsewhere he's strong. He could be a nice one for you, but that pace and maneuverability is the real concern, I think, for a lot of people. In terms of what they've changed skill wise, it looks like they've just added low lofted pass and interception. Interception is a big addition. If eFootball Hub's correct, and he's not always got that, then that is a big addition. Low lofted pass and nice one to have alongside weighted. But in terms of the important ones though, heading and aerial superiority, as I mentioned, then man marking, interception, blocker, sliding, captaincy, fighting spirit. I think he's just lacking acrobatic clearance. That's about it really. So yeah, skill wise we're looking really good. And in terms of the attributes, really good apart from that pace. So if you don't mind the lack of pace, this could be a solid centre-back for you. But if you're like me and you like your centre-backs to have a bit more pace about them when you get those through balls in behind your defence, then it could be a bit of a concern for you. That's the reason I released the one I had before, because he was very good. It's just you do have those moments where you need your centre-back to have a bit of pace about him, especially when your opponent's got the likes of Mbappe and Michael Owen and whoever else. A lot of pacey strikers in the game. He's going to have problems against those, but apart from that, he does have a lot of qualities. So for some people, it could be a very good centre-back. He's just a bit on the slow side. And next we have Ferland Mendy, defensive fullback from Real Madrid. Again, no change to the playing style of positions. He's the left back. He's looking pretty solid, to be honest. We have had a couple of trainable versions of Mendy. We're both slightly better than this one, and they are kind of trainable, of course, as well. Stats shuffled around slightly as well though. So not a massive difference. But yeah, if you got one of the two trainables, one from some kind of Real Madrid pack or Spanish League pack, one from some kind of legend box, I think. Yeah, if you got one of those, you got a better one. But this isn't too far off. It's pretty similar. It's a pretty solid looking card. From his GP card, we've lost a bit of pace, bit of kicking power, bit of stamina, so the lower body attributes have been nerfed a little bit. But we've gained some jumping, some physical contact. The defending's been boosted a bit. He's a bit better on the ball. His passing's been boosted a bit. So yeah, on the whole, decent boost. You can certainly afford to lose a bit off the speed and stamina. Looking at his skills, it looks like they've just added a few one-touch pass, interception, big addition, aerial superiority. So yeah, pretty good selection of skills here for a defensive fullback, to be honest. That playing style, obviously, you're not going to get forward too much. So I think that's what it comes down to. If you prefer attacking fullbacks like I do, I don't think he's going to be too great for you. Yes, he's got some great attributes down the right and down the middle, but he's not going to get forward a lot. He's not brilliant on the ball. He doesn't have pinpoint crossing. So if you like attacking fullbacks, it's probably a no. But if you like defensive fullbacks who just stay back and defend, in terms of the attributes and the skills. One-touch pass is nice, helps with his passing, but man marking, search and blocker, aerial, acrobatic, fighting spirit, got a fantastic selection of defensive skills there. So as a real defensive fullback, yes, it's not the best version of Mendy that we've had, but if that's your playing style for a fullback, pace is good, stamina is good, physical and balance are all right, not brilliant, but they're all right. But he's got decent jumping for a fullback with aerial superiority as well. The defenses are fairly strong. I think if you like a real defensive fullback, you probably don't mind these attributes being so low on the left. So yeah, it's not an amazing card, but if you do like a defensive fullback, I think it's a pretty solid card, and you'll be reasonably pleased with him. And before I forget, as I often do, he's got a face scan. So yeah, if you like the playing style defensive fullback, could be a pretty solid card for you. And our first booster in the pack is Tyrone Mings from Villa. So he's got a face scan, of course. He's huge. We had a nominate contract version of Mings. I think that's the only highlight card we've had of Mings before, or trending card, or any special card. This card is better than that one even before the boost, to be honest. So this is an upgrade. We'll activate the boost straight away. As you can see, he's pretty strong. So he's a big, tall guy. Doesn't have great jumping, but he does have aerial superiority, so he'll be pretty decent in the air. Heading and aerial superiority there. And then on the ground, we've got man marking, interception, blocker, sliding, acrobatic, captaincy, fighting spirit. One touch pass is a new one, they've added that. Acrobatic clearance and sliding tackle are new ones. So yeah, nice addition, nice selection of skills there for a centre back. And the attributes are pretty strong. From his GP card, he's had a nice boost to his pace, to his jumping as well, and to his stamina. His passing's up a bit. They've again, one of these annoying ones, they've slightly nerfed his defensives apart from his defensive awareness. But when you activate the boost, apart from the aggression, they all end up higher than his GP card. So yeah, another one of these ones where, you know, centre backs, they always boost the left and right columns. They don't do much in the middle. To slightly nerf him defensively, yes, he gets the points back when he gets the booster, but it's a bit annoying. But he is strong still defensively. The engagement's a bit of a concern, especially on the destroyer. That for me is the one real concern. The tackling's a little bit on the low side. Obviously, when he gets the A form boost, it's fine. When he's not on A form, no, the tackling's a bit iffy. But even on A form, the engagement for me is a bit of a concern on destroyer, because destroyers will step forward quite a bit. You don't want to get caught out of position. That puts me off a little bit. But on a big, tall, physical guy, well, I say physical, his physical contact's not that high actually. I'd like it to be a bit higher as well. But yeah, he's got pretty good pace certainly for a tall guy. His stamina's decent. That's had a boost. On the whole, for a big, tall destroyer, I think he's got a decent profile in terms of these stats. He's got a very good selection of skills. I would like one or two defensive attributes to be a bit higher. When he's on A form, it's just the engagement, really, to be honest. He's strong elsewhere. I'd like a bit more on his physical contact. If I was being greedy, the jumping of 81, I'd like it to be a bit higher. But I mean, I'm just having a look on eFootball up in the background, check what his vertical reach is. So when he's fully boosted on A form in the game plan and everything, his vertical reach is just shy of 280 centimeters. So yeah, with the height, he's got an aerial superiority. Jumping at 81, he will be fairly strong in the air. So like I say, I'd like a bit more one or two attributes, but on the whole, for a big, tall centre back, if you like a destroyer centre back, he's a pretty strong card to me. It's not an amazing one, but he's a pretty strong one. And as a left back, absolutely not. As tall as he is, the technical attributes and not much acceleration, yeah. I mean, if you want a really defensive fullback, maybe he's as a left back, but for me, no thank you. He's going to feel pretty uncomfortable there. But yeah, as a centre back, I'd like one or two attributes to be a bit higher, but great skills. Otherwise, the attributes are very strong, and he's a pretty strong centre back card. And straight to our second booster. So we've got Harvey Elliott. He's got his face scan, of course, a bit out of date now. Harvey Elliott is normally a creative playmaker and attacking midfielder. He's been changed. His registered position has been changed to his other position. He's always got right wing, but it's not normally his registered position. It is this time, and he's a prolific winger this time. So he's got the same position he can always play, but he's now going to have a prolific winger play style active when you play him as a right winger, but he won't have an active playing style as an attacking midfielder. He's got an unwavering form. And yeah, they've kind of switched his profile around to make him more of a winger, obviously. We've had a couple of previous Player of the Week cards of Elliott. They were both centre midfield whole players, so they could both play centre midfield. They both had the whole player playing style, which would be active centre mid or attacking mid, not as a right winger. And they both had better passing but less pace. Like I say, it's pretty obvious what they've done with his whole kind of profile, the balancing of his attributes. The best trainable version of Elliott we've had was a recent one from a Legend Pack, one that's one with the kind of dark green football in the background. Better in both positions, to be honest, even with this card fully boosted. I'll fully boost this card now. As you can see, that boosts his pace a bit. What's it, agility? Off the ball. Okay, off the ball, so you get the pace, attacking awareness, and stamina. Yeah, so it's a very nice card, this. But yeah, like I say, the best trainable was a bit better than this one. Other trainables tend to be similar. They tend to be, obviously, they're trainable cards, and they tend to be better if you train them as an attacking midfielder, because they get the pass, they get higher passing. But if you train them as a right winger, not quite. They don't tend to be quite as good. Not a massive difference though. From his GP card, obviously they've changed his position around, so as you'd expect, his GP card doesn't have the speed or the finishing to play as a right winger. But if you train his GP card as an attacking midfielder, it's better because he's got better passing, to be honest. So yeah, depends how you want to train him, but certainly if you want to use Harvey Elliott as a right winger, this is a very nice version of him. As an attacking midfielder, not the best version of him by a stretch, but certainly as a right winger, it's very interesting looking. Skill-wise, what they've done, long range curler. So as a left footer playing as a right wing forward, excellent skill to have. So long range curler, first time shot as well, and of course super sub. So yeah, could be a pretty tidy option as a right winger this. So with the skills they've added, and also one touch passing, through passing, pinpoint crossing, it's got outside curler, it's got soul control up there. You got a pretty nice selection of skills for a right winger here. It's just not an amazing guy. It's a very decent one. I think if you're a fan of this guy, certainly for Liverpool fans, it could be a very nice one to pick up. And for a lot of people, it could be a very decent guard. It's just none of the attributes are that amazing. You know, he's got decent pace, balance is pretty good. He's decent on the ball, not amazing. Passing's alright for a right winger. He earns some finishing. It is a pretty good card, to be fair. It's just a little bit shy of being a really good card, but it's certainly a solid one. As an attack midfielder, I wouldn't put him there. I don't think he's got the passing to play there. Even though he's got one touch passing, through passing, I don't think his passing attributes are high enough. I would want mid-80s, low pass as a minimum. But as a right winger, so if he's not an A form, I'm not sure he's quite got the pace to be that good as a right winger. Certainly could do a job, especially as a super sub. Now he's got the super sub skill there, but certainly on A form, bit of pace about him. Balance, got a low centre of gravity as well, 170 centimeters. So with that low centre of gravity, he should feel pretty nimble on the ball. He does have decent on the ball attributes, even if they're not amazing. He's got a bit of end product as well. So yeah, is a tidy card. I don't think it's amazing. He's not got electric pace. He's not amazing on the ball, but he's certainly not really bad in any of those areas. And if you like a right winger, he's going to be decent on the ball, certainly with that low centre of gravity. He's got a bit of end product, and especially as a super sub, yeah, it's a pretty tidy version of Harvey Elliott. It obviously is a very different one to what he normally is, with the fact he's got a bit more pace. He's a bit better suited to playing right wing. So yeah, an interesting version of Elliott this, and it's a fairly good card. Now we've got Haraldsson from Lille. He has a face scan, Icelandic left midfielder. So Haraldsson is normally a roaming flank. And they've added left midfield as a position. He's got all his normal positions, but they've added left midfield and they've made him a whole player. So a whole player will be an active playing style left midfield. It will also be active centre mid. He won't have an active playing style if you use him in any of the other positions, wide forward, left or right, or centre forward. So he's a versatile guy, this guy. He's got a few positions. Don't think we've had a featured version of him previously. It's the first time we've had a Haraldsson card. So just to compare him to his GP card, they boosted his passing, his finishing, his kicking power. And of course, on an attacking player, they boosted his defending and physical attributes. Excellent. Slightly nerfed him on the ball. That's annoying. Just a slight nerf. 1 or 2 points lost off those attributes there. What is the point of them doing that? I do not know. What they've done skill-wise, they've taken away gamesmanship, I think. We've got outside curler and fighting spirit. So not major changes there, but outside curler is a nice one to have. Fighting spirit likewise. They keep putting fighting spirit on attacking players. Not complaining. It's a very good one to have. But yeah, long range curler, he's right footed. If you play him off the left wing, that's a good one to have. Style control's nice, one touch bars, whereas through passing, that's the one he's really lacking, depending what position you play him in. I mean, through passing is a nice one to have in any position, but certainly as a centre midfielder, I'm ruling that one out straight away. Without through passing, without any defensive skills, can't defend, passing attributes aren't great. Yeah, you're not going to play this guy as a centre mid. Centre forward, attacking wise and finishing for me way too low. Right wing, he's right footed. 77 lofted, he's not got pinpoint crossing. I wouldn't be playing him on the right, so I think it's pretty clear this guy's going to be at his best coming off the left wing. He's got pretty good pace, balance is decent, on the ball again like with Elliott, not amazing. He's not bad, but he's not amazing. He's not much of a dribbler, but the awareness and finishing are decent. Passing's alright. Yeah, it's an alright card, this one. It's not an amazing one. I think he definitely is best coming off that left wing for me as an inverted winger. Long range curl is a very good skill to have. He's got 1 or 2 decent ones as well. And again, like with Elliott, we've got a super sub here, but no through passing. Not a lot in terms of end product, really. So yeah, again, you got a card where he's decent. He's certainly got quite a few qualities here. I think for me, the one thing that really holds him back is the fact he's not a bit better on the ball. You know, you want your wingers to be a bit better at carrying the ball, a bit better at dribbling maybe. But yeah, apart from that, there are qualities there. He's got a bit of end product. The awareness is decent for a whole player as well. That's a, you know, to have an attacking awareness in the 80s before your game plan boost with a whole player playing style, if you're going to use him as a left midfield. That's a good combination. He will be making some good runs, taking up good positions. He's got the pace, decent balance, but yeah, it's just one of these cards. And again, you know, French League, we don't get a French League change, so what's the point? You know, if he's good enough to get in your squad for divisions and so on, then great, it could be a useful one. Certainly if you're new to the game, but I think most people, when you're rocking, you know, your strongest squad in divisions or the unlimited challenge, you're gonna have better options if you've been playing the game for more than a month or so. So yeah, it's not a bad card by any means. Certainly got qualities. He's versatile, but I think he's only really gonna be valuable coming off the left wing. Maybe as a super sub could be a handy one to have, but yeah. Good card, just not a particularly amazing one. And now we have Rodrygo. We've had a few versions of Rodrygo. Of course, he has a face scan. He's had that for years. He is a whole player this time. Not sure there's been a whole player version of Rodrygo before, and I'm not sure there's been one that can play right midfield. They've added right midfielder position. The weaker foot's gone up by 1 accuracy. So yeah, normally a roaming flank. Now we've got a whole player who can play right midfield. That's interesting. If you don't really use wide midfielders, obviously that might not be so interesting for you, especially since whole player will not be an active playing style in any of his other 3 positions. But I do use wide midfielders, so I'm quite interested in this guy. We've had a lot of versions of Rodrygo, so lots of player of the week cards. He's around a similar level to most of the best ones, to be honest. Obviously, the stats have been shuffled around a bit. The play styles have changed. We've had a deep line forward a couple of times. We've had a goal poacher from a Champions League pack. I've got that one. He's an amazing super sub. I'm sure I've had a prolific winger at some point as well. So yeah, if you've got a player of the week version of Rodrygo, and if the playing style and the balance of all the stats and everything work for you, probably don't need this one, because like I say, it's pretty similar on the whole, just slightly higher, slightly lower in a few different areas compared to the different previous versions from Player of the Week. And he's up there around the same level as the better trainables, to be honest, obviously not including the Showtime version, which is the best, but the other trainables from Real Madrid packs and so on, he's around the same level. It's just he's got that different playing style, he's got right midfield, and some of his stats, like I say, will be slightly higher or lower compared to, you know, depending which version of him you got. But it's a nice version of him. He's got unwavering form. Skill-wise, what they've done, taken away, I think, Scotch move, is it? And we've got long-range curler. That's a good addition. Rising shot, I think, is new, and fighting spirit again. Fighting spirit being given out to all the attacking players. So he's got a good selection of skills here. He's already got first-time shot and through passing, acrobatic finishing. You got your ball roll double touch if you like your skill moves. Yeah, good selection of skills. He's got decent pace, balance, good on the ball, good attacking awareness for a whole player especially. Finishing's good. Passing's not brilliant. He does have through passing, but you still have to be careful with the passing. Don't try anything crazy with him. But yeah, I think for most people, you're going to put this guy left wing forward and play him without an active playing style, to be honest. I think most people would prefer him there, especially with the fact he's got long range curler. You want to make most of that. This Rodrygo card with the long range curler coming off the left wing, good attacking awareness, good in the ball, pace, decent finishing. I think he's going to be very effective from the left wing. As a centre forward, I think the attacking awareness and finishing are a bit low. I think there are probably quite a few people who would say that's okay and you get away with it because he is fantastic on the ball if you're playing him up front. He's got the pace, he's certainly got the finishing, he's got first-time shots. So it could be an option up front. For me personally, I don't think he's got the awareness and the finishing, but he's got pretty much everything else. But yeah, as a left wing forward, I think most people would put him there with the qualities he's got, with the long range curler being added as a skill. Very, very nice option there. Off the right, obviously you can't cross, he's right footed. I'm not sure many people would want to use him on the right, but for me personally, like I say, I use wide midfielders. I don't tend to use wide forwards, so to have a Rodrygo card I could use as a wide midfielder, as a right midfield with a whole player playing style, getting to good attacking positions. Obviously long range curler won't be quite so useful because he's right footed. You'd have to drift right the way over to the left really to have opportunities to hit those long range curlers, but he does have qualities there, got some good skills. So yeah, still as a right midfielder, I think a very interesting option as a whole player. And as much as he's not better than most of the previous Rodrygo cards, he's around the same level. And if you've not got a good version already, it'll be a very good one for you to pick up, whether it's a right midfielder, whole player, or like I say, whether you're using him as a left wing forward, like I imagine most people probably will. I think it's a very interesting version of Rodrygo and could be a good one for a lot of people to pick up. And even though I'm very happy with my centre forward goal poacher version of Rodrygo, I'll be pretty happy with this one because then I've got the option to use a right midfield version as well. It's a pretty good card in the whole. I think a lot of people will be very pleased with him. And here's our goalie and our third booster. It is Szczęsny from Barcelona. I think a lot of people expected Haraldsson from Liverpool after the way he played against PSG, but I watched the Barcelona game. Szczęsny was good, made a bunch of saves. I personally felt like Pedri deserved it. He was absolutely ridiculously good, Pedri, after Barca went down to 10 men. But yeah, I had a feeling they're going to go for Szczęsny. They don't want to put cards in Player of the Week that are too good, do they? They don't want us to be able to pick up cards for cheap that are going to be as good as the best kind of legends and showtimes. But with that being said, we do have a very good goalkeeper here nonetheless. So Szczęsny, I think he's normally an attacking goalkeeper. He's a defensive goalkeeper this time. He's tall. He's about 6'5". And he's got the awareness, the reflexes, and the reach, all hitting 90 with the game plan boost. Catching, not great. Parrying's all right, though. But he's got a booster. So when you activate that booster, nice. Very nice. So that awareness will be up to 94. I'll make it in the game plan fully boosted. Reflex is 93. Reach still at 90. That's not boosted. But the catching and parrying both get boosted. So the parrying is going to hit 90. You're going to have 4 attributes hitting 90 plus in your game plan when he's fully boosted on A form, and the catching will be boosted a bit as well, which is helpful. So yeah, this is the best version of Szczęsny we've had. The best trainable version of Szczęsny we've had previously was from an Italian League goalkeepers pack, I think it was, or Italian League defenders or something like that, some kind of legend box. And if you look at the overall rating, it's +1 compared to this one. But as I explained when I was talking about Oblak in the Spanish League pack, those trainables, looking at the overall rating compared to a Player of the Week card, they nerfed the jumping on these Player of the Week cards. So if a trainable version has got a similar overall rating to a Player of the Week card, it's a safe bet the Player of the Week card is better at goalkeeping. And that is the case with that one from the Italian League legend box, whatever it was. +1 overall, but it's not better. It's just got better jumping. This one's got better goalkeeping attributes. And yeah, like I say, this is the best version of Szczęsny that we've had, especially on A form. There was that number 9 contract one that's got crazy pace for a goalie. I think it's like 78 for speeds. So if you really want a version of Szczęsny that can run really fast, then maybe this isn't the best version of him. But yeah, being realistic, this is the best Szczęsny we've had. He's got very good goalkeeping attributes. He's a big, tall guy. We've got low punt, penalty saver, fighting spirit. So got a few good skills for a goalie. And yeah, the best Szczęsny we've had, and this is a very good goalie. He's a good size, he's got good attributes, especially on A form. Could be a very nice goalkeeper to have in your ranks, for the Spanish League Challenge especially, but just in general, whether even for divisions, unless you've got some of the real top legend goalies, I think this guy could be a very good option for a lot of people. And next we have Timber from Arsenal. So Timber is normally a fullback finisher. I'm not sure I consider him a fullback finisher, but he's now an attacking fullback, this version of him. And yeah, it's a solid looking card. So we've had a few versions of Timber over the years. We've had a few Player of the Week ones. We've had one when he was at Ajax, it was a destroyer. If you look at the overall rating, that Ajax destroyer Player of the Week card, I think it's about 2 lower than this one as a centre back and as a right back. Although I think as a right back, that destroyer card of Timber when he was at Ajax, I think that was actually comparable to this one. I'm not sure why it's too low. If you look at the attributes, it's pretty comparable, to be honest. Obviously the stats shuffled around a little bit. There's been an Arsenal attacking fullback Player of the Week card a while back. I think that was a booster. Yeah, it was a booster. Before the boost, this one's a little bit better, but the boost does make that one about the same as this one overall. Not a great difference. And in terms of the trainable versions we've had of Timber, they tend to be better as a centre-back, although some of them have lower physical contact, which is very important on a centre-back. And they tend to not be quite as high rated as a right-back, although, again, I wouldn't say they're far off, to be honest. I don't think there's a massive difference. Compared to the GP card, we've lost a bit of balance, and we've lost a bit of stamina. We've gained a bit of physicality and defending. We've lost 4 points from tight possession for some reason. That's a bit harsh. But he's had a nice boost in his lofted pass, his finishing, his heading. Yeah, on the whole, pretty decent boost, and it's a solid looking right back this. Let's look what they've done to his skills. What they've done to his skills, they have, as far as I can see, again, I'm trusting eFootball Hub, but it looks like they've added heading. I think that's new. First time shot, excellent, that's really useful. Aerial superiority, so that's good in a fullback. It's not necessarily one of the most important ones for a fullback, but it does help. What have they taken away? I think they've taken away weighted pass. That's a bit of a shame. I do like weighted pass on all players, really. But yeah, I think we can live without that. Nice to have aerial superiority and heading. So he's better in the air than he normally is. We've already got man marking, search and blocker, sliding tackle, acrobat against fighting spirit. One touch crossing goes forward. The one thing he's really lacking skill-wise is pinpoint crossing, to be honest. As an attacking fullback, pinpoint crossing would have been nice, but he's got one touch pass at least. And defensively, he got a whole load of skills there. So this might be one of these cards, to be honest. I mean, as an attacking fullback, yes, he's decent. He's lacking pinpoint crossing, but the pace is all right. Balance is lacking, I guess, as well. But yeah, apart from a slight lack in pace and the bounce being a bit iffy, I think he's got just about everything he needs to be a good attacking fullback, and obviously pinpoint crossing. So if you like an attacking fullback, it could be a solid option for a lot of people. But I'm looking at his card and thinking he might be one of these cards where if you put the defensive instruction on him, you could have a very nice defensive fullback. Again, the pace is still a little bit lacking. He's not slow, but he's just not quite as quick as I think most people want their fullbacks to be. But if you look at him as a defensive fullback, obviously he's better in the air now, 84 jumping, physical's decent, heading at 80, he's got heading and aerial skills, so he'll be decent, very decent in the air for a fullback. He's got a bit of physical strength as well. Again, balance a bit low. Stamina's fine though. Those defensive attributes though, they're strong. Whether he's an attacking or defensive fullback, those are strong attributes. Down the left there, I think most people like a defensive fullback. Those attributes will be absolutely fine. So yeah, as an attacking fullback, solid option. One of the attributes a bit on the low side, but like pinpoint crossing, could still do a very decent job for you as an attacking right back though. But I think if you like a defensive fullback, stick the defensive instruction on him with the attributes he's got, with the skills he's got. I think it could be a very good option as a defensive fullback. He does have centre back. Defensively, he's not terrible, but he's not that great. Likewise, physical strength. Yes, he's got good pace and stamina, and a lot of attributes are good for a centre back. But on the whole, as a centre back, I mean, he's got the skills as well for a centre back. To be fair, there's a lot to be said for him as a centre back. But those core defending attributes and physical strength for me are too low, so I wouldn't be playing him as a centre back. But yeah, as a fullback, attacking fullback, solid option. Put the defensive instruction on him, use him as a defensive fullback. I think could be a pretty good option. So yeah, solid card. Depends on what you want from a fullback, but I think for quite a few people, it could be a pretty decent card to pick up this one. And next we have another fullback, another attacking fullback. It's Nuno Mendes from PSG. He has a face gun as well, of course. I think everyone in this pack's got a face gun, actually. So yeah, this is a pretty good version of Nuno Mendes. This it's comparable to the better player of the week versions we've had of him. We've had quite a few versions of Mendes at this point. And likewise, the trainable versions is pretty much around the same level as the better ones. The better trained ones tend to have more pace, not so much defending, but you can retrain them. You can balance them out and make them pretty similar to this one, to be honest. So yeah, it's kind of, on the whole, pretty much par for the course for a good version of Nuno Mendes, to be honest. Compared to his GP card, they've taken a bunch of points off his lower body attributes, so he lost a bunch off his speed, his kicking power, and his stamina. But they boosted his physical contact, they boosted his technicals, and his defending has had a nice boost. They put quite a few points on his defending. So on the whole, I think we've got a pretty decent version of Mendes here. Yes, we've not lost a bunch of points off some attributes which are important for a fullback, but I think we've still got enough points on them. Speed and acceleration both 90 before your game plan boost. Likewise, stamina. The kicking power's alright. The physical contact's decent. The balance is okay. Defending is decent. I'd like the engagement to be a bit higher, but all the others will be 80 plus in your game plan boost. Tight possessions iffy, low passes iffy. Those two concern me, especially on an attacking fullback. He's about 6 foot, so yeah, when you're starting to, when you got the ball at your feet, you're twisting and turning, trying to hold off an opponent. That tight possession, you will notice that sometimes. And low pass is a bit iffy as well. You're going to be careful. You have to be careful not to ask too much with his passing. He's not got one-touch pass or through passing as well. Got good snatching skills there for a fullback. Defensively, got man marking, insertion, aerial, sliding tackle, back clearance. Soul control, nice one to have for a fullback. Nice bonus. Long range shooting, pinpoint crossing. Yeah, on the whole, it's a pretty solid version of Mendes. What have they changed skill-wise, actually? So double touch is new, man marking is new, and aerial superiority is new. So certainly man marking and aerial superiority, two very good ones to have for a fullback. Double touch, the dribblers I'm sure will be pleased. Not the most important one in a fullback though. What have we lost to make way for those new skills? I think it looks like chop turn, cut behind and turn, low lofted pass. So yeah, I think we could live without those. I think it's a decent trade on the whole. He's got a pretty good selection of skills for an attacking fullback. And yeah, look at the attributes. Yes, I'd like one or two to be a bit higher. Defensive engagement I'd like to be a little bit higher. And that type possession, low pass, you'll have to be mindful of those. But apart from that, this is a good version of Nuno Mendes and a good solid attacking fullback. Again, though, French League, we don't get a French League challenge, so you're really just looking at this guy either for your kind of strongest squad for divisions, for the unlimited challenge, or maybe if you rock a Portugal squad for the national team challenge. Is he going to be a good option for any of those instances? He could be, certainly a very solid card, but yeah, it's a shame you're not going to get a league challenge to use him in, but it's a solid left back. Centre back's out of the question. I don't think he's strong enough defensively or physically for centre back. Left wing, I don't think he's quite good enough technically for that. Don't think he offers enough going forward. But yeah, as a left back, attacking full back, I think he got a pretty good profile on this guy. Good selection skills, and I think it's a solid option for a lot of people. And next we have another Declan Rice card. So we've not had one just recently, I don't think, apart from the Arsenal pack, but we've had quite a few Declan Rice cards over the last few years in eFootball. He's a box-to-box these days, centre midfield, normally a defensive midfield. They've changed his registered position, but he's already got both those positions. It's just his registered position has changed. His weak for accuracy is +1. He's around the same level as most of the previous Player of the Week cards, to be honest. Just the stats are kind of shuffled around a little bit. We've had a destroyer, 1 or 2 destroyers. Had an Anchorman version as well. So yeah, they're kind of playing style on the profile in terms of the way the stats are kind of shuffled around. They might suit you better on this card. They might suit you better on one of the previous ones. It depends on what you want. But he's around the same level overall. He's fairly similar to the better trainable versions of Rice, to be honest. Again, the profile kind of changes. You know, he's been a destroyer before. There have been previous cards of Rice where you can play him as a centre back. So yeah, the different versions of Rice are kind of might be better for you depending on what you want as a defensive mid or as a centre mid. The recent Arsenal pack, if you got the recent Arsenal pack, the one in that pack I would say can be a better defensive midfielder, but I think this one is better as a centre midfielder compared to the one from the Arsenal pack. Compared to his GP card, obviously it changed his position a bit, so hard to compare directly. But if you train the GP card as a centre midfielder on auto allocation, the left and middle columns don't really change much. There's not a massive difference, but it's that right column that changes because they've given him a nice boost with his pretty much everything down the right except for kicking power and stamina, really. So yeah, if you're looking at a direct comparison to his GP card as a centre mid, that's the difference. It's that most of that right column, really. That's about it. Unwavering form, skill wise. They've added one-touch passing, through passing, so that's a big addition. Declan Rice does not normally have those skills. He's had either one or both of those on 1 or 2 occasions in the past, but usually he doesn't. That's the one big thing he's lacking, to be honest, with most Declan Rice cards. So that's a good addition. It looks like pinpoint crossing is new as well, I think, but I don't think that's overly important. I think certainly one-touch passing, through passing is important. He's already got weighted pass and low off the pass as well, so you've suddenly got some very good passing skills on Declan Rice. Defensively, man marking, interception, blocker, fighting spirit. So yeah, you've got really good selection skills on a box-to-box centre mid here. It's a shame his low pass isn't a bit better. I'd like it to be a bit higher. Even if it's just 1 high, you get to the point where it gets boosted by 3 in your game plan with a good enough manager. So you're only going to get to about 86 fully boosting the game plan, which is not brilliant for passing. It is decent enough. It depends. I think different people have different views on that. There are some people who think that's fine. If you think that's fine on your centre midfielder, you've certainly got lots of qualities with this Declan Rice card. He's okay on the ball. He's defensively pretty strong. Not as strong as he can be, obviously, when you've got a defensive midfield version of Rice, or if you've got a trainable version that you train as a defensive midfielder, he tends to be stronger. But if you're going to use this guy as a centre mid, as a box-to-box, I think defensively he's pretty strong. He's got some physical strength there. Not great bounce. He never has great bounce. But the pace is okay. Kicking power's decent. Stamina's good. Attacking awareness does suck a bit. So yeah, as a centre mid, yes, they boosted him with his passing skills. And it does look like a strong card as a centre mid overall, but attacking awareness and balance, those are the 2 attributes for me that stand out as a centre mid, where he's a bit lacking. And like I say, I'd like the passing to be a bit higher. So lots of qualities about him as a centre mid, but 1 or 2 question marks as well. As a defensive mid, not as strong as he usually is, because they've obviously made him a centre mid primarily. He's still got some decent attributes though. If he was in some kind of double pivot as a defensive mid, could be a very solid option. He's certainly got great selection skills. Let's keep an eye on that playing style, because as a box-to-box, that playing style will still be active as a defensive mid. He will get up and down the pitch quite a bit still. So yeah, it depends what you want from a Declan Rice card. You want an out-and-out defensive midfielder. This is not the best version of Rice by a stretch. But if you want a centre midfield version, yeah, 1 or 2 slight question marks: the balance, the attack awareness, maybe the passing. But there are a lot of qualities on him, skill-wise as well, with the additions they made. It's a very good version of Declan Rice as a centre midfielder. And in isolation, I don't think it's an amazing centre midfielder because of the slight question marks in 1 or 2 areas, but it's certainly a solid option. Big physical guy in the middle of the park, good selection of skills. Could be a very solid card for a lot of people to pick up. And we finish up with Harry. We have had a lot of Harry Kane cards. We had quite a few in Player of the Week as well. So this one, unboosted, this is around about the same level as the better Player of the Week versions of Harry Kane. But we've had 1 or 2 boosters, and when they get boosted, they're better than this one. So this isn't the best version of Harry Kane that we've had. And some of the previous Player of the Week versions have been either a fox in the box, or I think once or twice even another goal poacher as well. So yeah, the playing style might be the thing for you. Deep line forward, a lot of people don't really like that playing style. I'm not a big fan myself. But if you like the playing style, and if you've not got one of the better versions of Kane, it could be a good one for you to have. If you look at the trainable versions of Kane, obviously there's a fairly recent Showtime that's the best version of him. But he's around the same level as the better trainable versions of Kane, to be honest. It's just the kind of stats been shuffled around a bit, as you'd expect from a Player of the Week card. The big difference between this and most versions of Kane is that the awareness and finishing have been nerfed a bit on this one. You can get away with that because you're still going to be 90 plus with the maximum game plan boost on those two attributes, but those two are lower than a lot of the better trainable versions. But on the plus side, we're a bit better on the ball than most of the trainable versions of Kane, and more pace as well compared to most, certainly more recent versions of Kane. And compared to his GP card, that's really the gist of it. The awareness and finishing have been nerfed, and set pieces as well from his GP card. So those attributes we've lost a few points, but on the ball been boosted. Pace has been boosted, his jumping's been boosted, physical contact's been boosted, stamina's been boosted. Yeah, it's a good version of Kane, this. Like I say, not the best version, and they do tend to kind of shuffle the points around, certainly on these Player of the Week versions. And on quite a few highlight cards these days, they seem to be shuffling points around, which I think is good. They're making it interesting. But yeah, it's a good version of Kane. Skill-wise, what they've done skill-wise, it looks like we've lost chip shot control, gamesmanship, and captaincy, but what we've gained is long range shooting. That's a good one. Fighting spirit again, and it's aerial superiority new. I thought we already had that. I've got a couple of versions of Kane. They both got it, but according to eFootball Hub, that's new. So yeah, good selection of skills on this Kane. So heading and aerial, and then with his shooting, got long range curler, dipping shot, long range curler, and long range shooting. Acrobatic finishing, first time shot. Yeah, it's a good version of Kane, really. I mean, it's a shame as a deep line forward that they've not given him any passing skills. I would like if he had one touch pass, certainly through passing. The passing attributes are decent for a deep line forward. For me, I would look for them to be around about the 80 mark, so they're not far off. But like I say, with no passing skills, that's the one slight disappointment. But he is a bit better on the ball than he normally is. That is important on the deep line forward. He's got a bit more pace as well. So yeah, it just comes down to the overall profile, the playing style, the attributes, the position. If he's going to work for you as a deep line forward, you like that playing style, it could be a very good card to have because it's a good version of Kane. But there have been better versions of him. Before I forget, I almost did. He's got a face scan, of course. But yeah, if the profile works for you and you've not got a better version, it could be a good version of Kane to have. But I think at this point, a lot of us have had a version of Kane. You may well have a better one, but it just depends on what how the kind of stats are shuffled around and what the playing style is that he's got. For me personally, I've got a Fox in the Box one I was very lucky to get for Player of the Week, and I'm very happy with that one. I do not need this one. And I've also got a very old Tottenham goal poacher version still, which is I prefer that one to this one. So for me personally, and for a lot of people, you may have a better version, so this one might not appeal to you. But if you don't have a better version, and if the profile of this one works for you, it's obviously a very good centre forward card. It just depends on what you're looking for from a Harry Kane card, really. So there is your Champions League Player of the Week pack. I think it's decent. I don't think it's amazing. I don't think it's the most exciting pack in the world. There are obviously some good cards in there. It just depends on what you want. You know, Acerbi, if you don't mind the lack of pace, could be good. Otherwise, it'd be too slow for you. Mendy could be a pretty solid defensive fullback option. Mings, big destroyer. Decent option as a centre back. Elliott could be a decent right winger for you. Haraldsson, yeah, he could be a decent left winger for you. Rodrygo's always good. It's just another Rodrygo card, really, but he does have right midfield and whole player, which makes him a little bit different. It's got long range curl as well. Like I say, I think for most people, you play this guy as a left wing forward. That could be the best way for you to use him. But yeah, so it's another very tidy looking Rodrygo card. Szczęsny, very good goalie card. Timber, solid fullback. Mendes, solid fullback. Declan Rice, I think as a defensive mid or centre mid, they're 1 and 2 question marks in different areas, but on the whole, big physical guy with a lot of qualities. He's a good version of Declan Rice. And then Harry Kane, just another Harry Kane card, really. The profile overall with the playing style and everything else might not work for a lot of people, but if it does work for you, if you don't have a better version, it's obviously a very good centre forward card. So yeah, there's a lot of decent or good cards in there. I don't think it's a particularly exciting pack, but certainly I think for a lot of people from your free spin, there's a good chance you get someone half decent to add to your squad. So yeah, hopefully you found this useful. Let me know what you think of the pack. Let me know who you've spun. As I mentioned at the start of the video, I'll be reviewing the regular Player of the Week pack after this one, so hopefully I'll get that one live by the end of today. And then I'll move on to those 2 new national packs where we got the selection contracts, because they look very interesting. So I'll be reviewing those as well. So there's a whole bunch of videos coming up on the channel. I will also be reviewing that Inter pack eventually as well. I've not forgotten it. So yeah, keep your eyes on the channel for all those videos. I'll try and do 1 or 2 streams over the weekend as well. So yeah, cheers for watching. Do really appreciate it. Hope you found this useful, and I'll be seeing you very soon. Take it easy.